So my name is Bernhard Kuhle from WWF Austria. I'm working very much in the Neusiedlersee area, Fährte area. And I have a question for Mr. Todt. How, in your predictions, would the increase in precipitation fit into this pattern? You've described that there's a strong warming, that evaporation is getting stronger, no question. But for example, for the Fährte area, there's predictions that precipitation will really increase by a lot, about 16%. These are the maximum predictions. So that would have to fit into the equation what is happening with the lakes. I think what would happen is that fluctuations will get much stronger. There will be long drought periods, but there will also be a lot of water coming at once from the sky. How does it fit in that picture and in your prediction that those lakes will disappear?
Yes, the problem with the prediction is that I'm not working with predictions. I'm working with the data set I already. So I'm not a climate scientist. So let's keep it that the climate science for climate scientists. And I work only with the data available from the water authorities, and I can calculate the evaporation from the water temperature, surface water temperatures. But I have no predictions for the future, unfortunately. I know that there are, should we call it optimistic? No. Some realistic predictions, and there are some pessimistic predictions that are saying that the water evaporation will increase, but the problem is that precipitation, I have no idea, sorry about it. As I said to you, I work with available data, not the prediction of the data.
My name is Udo Gartenmöller from Global Nature Fund in Germany. Thank you for 3 very interesting presentations. I have 2 questions. One is going to Victor, and I'll start with this one. If there's enough time, I have another one for the EU experts. Victor, I come from Lake Constance, and in Germany we saw recently quite significant issues with neobiota, primarily with quagga mussel. Do you have similar experiences in Hungary or observations?
For the last 100 years, yes. Well, not with the quagga, but with the zebra mussels. The zebra mussels appeared in Lake Balaton, I don't know, 100 years ago, sort of. Right now, the quagga mussels that appeared around 20 years ago in Lake Balaton, they are just pushing out the zebra mussels. So they're competing. So sometimes you can root for the new neobiota to throw away the old neobiota.
And the other one goes to Daniela or Caroline. I know it's a complex and or complicated question. Thank you very much for your insights into the WFD and all the EU directives. I think the Commission is doing a good job with the Green Deal. Last year, the Commission passed a regulation on banning microplastics as one endocrine disruptor in water ecosystems. And fortunately, that regulation came. Probably it came a little bit late, and probably it was a little bit diluted. My question is, as we see now a regulation that is banning primary microplastic in water ecosystems, can you kind of give an outlook to when that regulation is kind of extended to secondary microplastic? Because this is, of course, much more significant, and I know it's more complex to kind of internalize the externalities, but in particular, looking at the tire industry, I think that is overdue. Thank you.
I hope Daniela knows a bit more about this one than me. I mean, I think the difficulty with these microplastics is they're everywhere. I think there's something in the EQSD revision that's sort of under the proposed change to the Environmental Quality Standards Directive. I think there's something in there about microplastics and developing some work on that. But maybe Daniela has a bit more information on that one.
Yes, I think I heard the question, but I don't think I'm able to answer. I'm sorry. You can send it to me by email, and then I will ask the relevant people in the DG that work on that.
Yes.
Sorry.
So I'll just add to that, it's quite difficult. So I think actually I think it's an implementing act or something like that under the EQSD revision, because actually trying to define what these are and then what you do with it is going to take more work. So I think that so we're looking at if and when the environmental quality standard goes through, then to give you a bit more of a line of sight onto when something might happen.
Thanks, I'm Gabor Ungvári. I have a question to Zoltán. You described the state of Balaton. We have many oxbows. In the three states that you described a lake could be, what is the status of the oxbows in this sense? They are in bigger danger, they are still lakes in your definition, or because maybe climate change affect them more?
The problem with the oxbows is no, there is no problem. There is no problems with the oxbows, but in my mind, the oxbows is a bit difficult area to study because the majority. I didn't mention the methodology of the climate change assessment. Lots of data, lot of recent data were coming from satellite images. We use satellite images to calculate the surface water temperature. There is no possibility for the oxbows because of the satellite resolution, unfortunately. So as I said to you, I have data only for the four major lakes and the major and the secondary rivers of Hungary. That's it. The problem with the oxbows is that I'm not going to say that their fate is the same as shallow lakes, but definitely, if there is no such a European directive that will support the oxbow rejuvenation or reconstructions, probably they will disappear, maybe even quicker than shallow lakes because of their smaller volume of water.
Hello everybody, I am Ferenc Réder and I'm working with the EU-funded environment and water projects in Hungary. And my remark or question to Viktor is regarding the Lake Balaton and similar other lakes in Hungary, because I really like the project. Like your presentation is started with a small Balaton Lake project as a good example how a government can act. And if now I sit next to a computer and type in shoreline ecological restoration of large lakes, I found many beautiful projects around the earth. For example, in China we have beautiful projects of ecological removal of hard bank protection infrastructures and how it can be modified. Could we say indicative numbers to the government? If you can restore, I don't know, X percentage of the present hard concrete line of the lake, you can significantly improve the quality of the lake. Could the science help with such numbers towards the government, towards the policy makers and the decision makers?
Well, again, from one point of view, yes, to your question that we have numbers. It is at least my studies show, my research shows that the biodiversity in urban areas are extremely different from the quasi-natural parts of Lake Balaton. Unfortunately, I do not have other research on other lakes on urbanization, but from this point of view, I can say to you that yes, there is a significant difference between the urban areas and in biodiversity. For example, the appearance of the invasive species in urban areas are significantly higher. And if we throw away all the neobiota that appears there, the biodiversity will be nearly diminished. To the first part of your question, my answer is no. Probably the Hungarian government won't listen to these numbers because the GDP is our new God, and we believe in it, and we like to build stuff, despite everybody knows that a cinema without a good movie is just an empty place. So the same will happen with Lake Balaton. If there is no viable natural environment, nobody will come to Lake Balaton eventually. But unfortunately, it's just my opinion.
I just wanted to comment on the tools that we mentioned. Maybe the nature restoration law is going to be a tool to restore oxbow lakes, or also to use them at shallow lakes. That could be a hope. We will discuss that during the coming 2 days. And in terms of microplastics, there was this weird comment when we started the Hungarian presidency. I think it came from one of the state secretary who did a presentation to civil society organization, and she was actually linking the microplastics issue to demography. So she was actually saying that because that's an issue here in Hungary, demographic increase of population is a big topic for the Hungarian government currently, rather than health in nature. And the whole microplastic discussion was linked to that. Hopefully, I guess they were hoping that pollution is decreasing, then we are going to become more fertile as human beings, something like that.